Namaste children. I hope you are doing well with these classes. We discussed in the earlier classes, that is previous class. In the last class, we have discussed about how to prepare a grouped frequency distribution table for the given numerical data. So, by using tally marks and class intervals, for frequency distribution table, ungrouped data and grouped data, we prepared the given information. Based on the given information, we prepared by using tally marks as a tabular form data which is given data, tally marks and frequency polygon. Then by using class intervals, lower limit and upper limit, we prepared grouped frequency distribution table, that is also tabular form, class intervals, then tally marks, then frequencies. So the same numerical data now we are representing in another modes, another forms, which are nothing but bar graph, histogram and frequency polygon. In this class we are discussing about bar graph, histogram and frequency polygon. Numerical data we are representing graphically. But in earlier classes, the same information even we learned how to represent the numerical data by using pictures. So these are the representation of different forms. In earlier classes, what we have learned, one is pictograph, then pie chart or circle graph, bar graph, histogram, frequency polygon. Pie chart, by using pictures we represent pictograph. By using pictures we represent pictograph. Pictorial representation of a given data is called pictograph. So each key, that picture represents some 100 or 1000 based on the given information. Circle on pie chart, its relation between the whole and its part. Circle graph is nothing but relation between the whole and its part. By converting the given data into, by using central angle which are called sectors. By using sectors, we represent the given information in a pie chart based on the given information. These are called sectors and this is called central angle. So total angle in a circle is 360. That's how we learn pictograph or circle, pie chart or circle graph. Now in this session we are going to discuss about the bar graph, histogram and frequency polygon. Let us see pictograph, pictorial representation of the your data using symbols. See here you are seeing a pictograph which represents the data about the cars in a particular month, July, August and September. 3 months data is given. In the top you are seeing that 100 cars, one symbol stands for 100 cars. July month you have 2.5. So you can count how many cars they may be produced a particular factory. 250. August month you have 3 pictures, each symbol represents 100, so 300. September you have 4, so how many figures it represents, how many cars it represents the data, that is each picture represents 100, so totally we have 400. So data, it depends on the data how you are going to choose or how you are going to represent the picture. By one picture represents the whole data, how many cars are given. One picture, one car represents 100. That means if by using the symbol you can prepare the data. You see now, one picture represent 100 and half picture represent half of the whole. One car represents 100, so half of the car means half of 100 is what? 50. So half picture represents 50. This is how we represent pictograph. Now this is circle graph or pie chart. So circle graph represents the whole data and related parts. So we are dividing the data into some sectors by using the angle. Total angle in a circle is 360 degrees. So the total circle will be divided into circles based on the given information. So this is how we represent circle graph or pie chart, which we discussed in the earlier classes. The given information we divide into sectors
we convert that into some angle by using total angle in a circle 360 degrees. So this is called a circle graph. Shows the relationship between the whole and its part. Whole circle is divided into sectors. The size of each sector may be different because based on the information it differs. This is pie chart.
So now in detail, again we are going to discuss about the bar graph. Now bar graph. So rectangular bars, the given numerical data we are going to represent in graphically in the picture wise, like by using a rectangular bars. So to represent this bar graph, we need to discuss, we need to revise that horizontal line and vertical line. The horizontal line is called x-axis. The horizontal line is called x-axis and the vertical line is called y-axis. This is y-axis. Where the two axes are meeting, that point is called horizon and it is denoted by O, horizon. See here, horizontal line is x-axis and the vertical line is y-axis. The plain paper is divided into 4 parts by which are called quadrants. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. This horizontal line is x-axis and the vertical line is y-axis. So while representing the data, the given information, the rectangular bars, here we are using rectangular bars. So rectangular bars we can represent along with the y-axis or sometimes we represent along with the x-axis. So when we are representing along with the y-axis, most of the times we use to represent the rectangular bars along with the y-axis so that the data, the picture, it gives a nice look. You can represent even the rectangular bars along with the horizontal line, that is x-axis also. If you represent the rectangular boxes along with the x-axis, then frequency you need to represent on x-axis and the information you need to represent on y-axis. If the rectangular bars are in vertical way, then frequency will stand on y-axis and the information will stand on x-axis. So this quadrant 1, most of the time we use only a particular part. The plane is divided into 4 parts, but we are using only one part to represent the bar graph. We don't use all these 3 places. This place or this place we can use to represent. Why we are not using this place? Because it shows the negative values. It shows the negative values. That's why we are using only a particular part. Now we'll see one question, one example how to represent bar graph.
Now we are seeing a bar graph. The numerical data we are representing by using rectangular bars. See carefully, observe the data. It shows some marks of students. On x-axis, students data is located. On y-axis, marks are located. You see on the top you are saying scale 1 unit is equals to 100 marks. So on y-axis, between the marks, while locating the marks, there must be equal space even on y-axis, and between the bars there must be equal space, and width of the bars also must be same. So in bar graph we need to remember between the bars there must be uniform width and width of the bar also will be same, and rectangular bars height or length of the rectangular bar or height of the rectangular bars depend on the numerical data, depending on the given frequencies. This is how we represent bar graph.
So we need to remember, we need to keep in the mind while representing the bar graph on x-axis and y-axis. Generally we take y-axis the frequencies because it gives a nice look. You can represent even on x-axis. So the rectangular bars, horizontally also you can represent, on vertical also you can represent, along with the vertical line also, height of the rectangular bars you can represent. Only the thing is, if you represent the rectangular bars with the y-axis, along with the y-axis, then it gives a nice look. Now between the bars uniform width must be there and the width of the rectangular bars is also same. So now we are going to see one example how to represent the bar graph. And you people are doing in the graph book so that it gives a nice look, because in graph book you will be having the small line 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So it gives a nice look. So try, you have to do in the graph book. Now represent the given data on the bar graph. Name of the book and number of books. The data may be collected from the source of a library. Mathematics, maths books 500 and science books 450, social 300, Hindi 250, Telugu 200 books are there. This data we are going to represent on the bar graph. You look, listen carefully, observe it, how we are going to represent. This is horizontal line which we call it as x-axis, and this is a vertical line. This is y-axis. Observe it, x-axis and y-axis. Where these two lines, this point we call it as origin, and while representing the numerical on y-axis we start from here 0. Now between the bars there must be uniform width, and here choosing the scale is very important. Choosing the scale, so we have multiples of 100 or 50, 100, 250, 200, 250, 300, 450, 500. So 1 centimeter scale, 1 centimeter is equals to 100 units, which are nothing but 100 books. We are taking as 100 books. It represents. So 0. First line I am taking as this one. So here I am writing name of the book on x-axis. Name of the book. And here number of books. Number of books. Name of the books and number of books. Observe it. This is y-axis. The vertical line is y-axis. On the y-axis we are taking, this is y-axis, and we are taking number of books on y-axis. This is the origin point 0. So 1 centimeter is equals to y. I told you to do it in the graph so that 1 centimeter boxes will be there. It will be easy for you to represent. This is 100. The next one 200. Next one 300. Next one 400. Next one 500. And you may be getting out how to take the values based on the given data. Maximum frequency is 500. So you can stop either here or you can locate one more value, that is 600. Now you see, on x-axis I took name of the book, on y-axis number of books. Now max, how many books we have? First one 500. So you are leaving a space between the bars. So length of the bar up to 500. Here small 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. In your graph books you will find this all like this. So I am leaving the first 1 centimeter because the gap must be there between the bars from here to here. Now max books 500. So where you get 500? Max book. This is a 500. So max books. Observe it. You use scale and pencil to represent this rectangular bars. This is max. Next, this is 500. Exactly at 500 only you have to look it. Next, science 450. Again you leave the space between the bars, there must be gap. So leave the space. Now science 450. Where do you get 450? Between 400 and 500 exactly you will be having a middle line, that is. So 450. This represents science. This is 500 and this is 450. Next, social subject we have 300. So leave the space between the bars, uniform width must be there. So leaving the space, and now you are locating social, that is 300 books. Where you are getting 300 books on y-axis, you see the numerical, that is a frequency 300. So 300. You have to use scale and pencil while representing this data so that it gives a nice look. Do not draw with a free hand. This is 300 social. Now we have Hindi again. So Hindi, how many books we have Hindi? 250. 250. So 250 will be getting between 300 and 200 exactly in the middle. So this is 250. Leaving the uniform width between the bars, we are locating this is 250. This is Hindi. But we have one more column, that is one more book, that is Telugu. We are extending that line, horizontal line, because we need to represent another book, that is extend this x-axis here as the place was not sufficient. Now Telugu books 200 we have, leave the uniform width and now represent again Telugu books, that is 200 is there. So 200 exactly here. This is Telugu 200 books. Telugu. So that is 200 books. This is how we represent bar graph. What we need to keep in our mind? Between the rectangle, these are called rectangular bars. These are called rectangular bars. So between the rectangular bars, there must be uniform width, as well as the width of the bar also must be same. The width of the bar also must be same. Width of the bar also must be same. This we need to keep in our mind. While choosing the scale, depending on the data, you have to select the scale. So here we took scale 1 centimeter is equals to 100. You can write units because we are representing the data. So 1 centimeter is equals to 100 books. I hope you understood how to represent bar graph. Now we will discuss about the histogram. Histogram is also by using rectangular bars, but there is a slight difference between the bar graph and histogram. There will not be any space between the bars, and height of the bars also depend on the data, and width of the bars sometimes may be equal, sometimes may be vary. The rectangular bars width depending on the data, sometimes width may be equal or sometimes the width may not be equal, it depends on the data. Histogram, the numerical representation only we are representing in the graph. Numerical data only we are representing in the graph, graphical representation. So that data is called, how we are representing? By using the rectangular bars without giving any space. Without giving any space. That is known as histogram. Now we see one example how to display or how to represent as a histogram.
See, here we are seeing a histogram, but one more important point, histogram is represented only for, we can use for continuous class interval data. Continuous class interval data. Continuous class interval data. Look at this picture. There is some information, how many people, hours of TV watched per day and number of students, how many students are watching TV in a particular day. Continuous class intervals means 1 to 2 hours. There are 4 children, 2 to 3, there are 8 students, 3 to 4, 32 students, and 4 to 5, 32 students, 3 to 4, 22 students, 4 to 5, 32 students, and 5 to 6, 8 students, 6 to 7 hours. Between 6 to 7 hours, 6 students are there. So, histogram is represented, we use to represent only for the continuous class interval. Continuous class interval. Now, we will see how to represent given data on histogram.
Now we see how to represent the given numerical data as a histogram. So histogram we use to represent for the data which is given a continuous class intervals. Continuous class interval. If the data is discontinuous, then we will see that type of data in the next session. Today we are discussing only for grouped frequency distribution table for continuous class interval. So here we have some information. Represent the given data in the form of histogram. Marks of the students and the number of students. Means the categories they grouped into some the given information who secured marks between 0 to 10, 3 and 10 to 20, 9, 20 to 30, 17, 30 to 40, 12, 40 to 50, 9 students are there. Total 50 students data they collected and they categorized into some groups. So this is grouped frequency table, and in that these are the class intervals and this is a frequency. So class intervals and frequency. Observe the class intervals 0 to 10, 10 to 20. How can you say that it is a continuous class intervals or not, continuous data or not? By seeing the upper class limit of one class interval and lower class limit, lower limit of the next class interval, succeeding class limit, succeeding the class interval. Those two are same, then we say that is continuous data. You say 10 to 20, upper limit is 20, 20 to 30, lower limit is 20. If like this is there, 20, 20, 30, 30, then we call it as continuous class interval or continuous data. Now this we are representing as a bar graph, histogram. We are representing as a histogram. So horizontal line, what do you call horizontal line? This is x-axis. Horizontal line is x-axis and the vertical line is y-axis. Observe it. Based on the given numericals, only you need to select the scale. You need to select the scale. So this is origin point. While writing the numericals, we start from this 0 and equal space must be given between the numbers which you are representing on y-axis. And here we are taking marks of the students, that is nothing but class intervals, marks. And here we are taking number of students. Number of students. Now see here between. So why we are doing it in the graph sheet? Because it will be easy for us to locate the values and it gives a nice look. Look, 0 to 10 class intervals 1 centimeter. See here, each one you have 1 centimeter. This side even up above this, from here also you can select the boxes. 1 centimeter boxes will be there. So this is equal space must be there between the bars. So there will not be any gap between the bars in histogram. That is a point which you remember, which you need to remind while representing histogram. So 10, this is 20, this is 30, and this is 40. Here marks 50. And this is number of students on the y-axis. 0 to 10, 3. So now you have to select the scale. See, I am taking it here. Maximum highest number is 70. So if I take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and this is 18. 18. Now you see maximum number is 70. So 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 0 to 10. How many students are there? 3. 3 lies between 2 and 4 exactly in the middle. 0 to 10. Observe, this is 3. This is 3. So 0 to 10. Next 10 to 29. 10 to 29 students. 9 where it lies between 8 and 10. So like this. You come up to 9. Use scale and pencil. You have to use scale and pencil while representing this data. You see, there is no gap between the bars and it has uniform width. Uniform width between uniform width of the rectangular bars. The width of the bars is same. Next, 20 to 30, 17. So 20 to 30, 17 means where it comes between 16 and 18. So this data you have to now select 17. Exactly middle of 16 and 18. Then this is 3 and this is 9. This is 17. This is 20 to 30. Next, 30 to 40, 12. So 30 to 40, 12 exactly here. This is 30 to 40. So 30 to 40. Observe it. Use scale and pencil. Represent the data very neatly. You need to represent very neatly. Next, 40 to 59. This is 12 students. 12 students. Then 40 to 50. Again 9 students. 9 students is between 8 and 10. So here 40 to 50. This is 8 students. So marks we are locating on y-axis and the number of students we are locating on y-axis and the marks who secured between 0 to 10 because these are continuous class intervals. So these are rectangular bars and between the bars there is no gap and uniform width. Bars are having uniform width. These are called rectangular bars. This is uniform width. This is uniform width. So bar graph and histogram, there is a slight difference. Bar graph means there must be space between the bars. Histogram means there will not be any gap between the bars. But we saw now the data of continuous data. Continuous data. There is no gap between the bars. There is no gap between the bars. I hope you understood how to represent histogram. So now we have some homework questions from exercise 14.2 page number 258 and 259. Question number 1, 2, 3 and 5. Question number 1, 2, 3 you need to represent as a bar graph and question number 5 you need to represent as histogram with a grouped frequency table of continuous class interval. So in this question data in the textbook we have below these questions. If suppose after first question given information you have some questions. Who is maximum or what is the minimum? Some questions are there. For that questions also after representing the data you need to answer in your notebook. I hope you understood how to represent a bar graph and histogram. So what we have discussed today with just a previous discussion about the pictograph and pie chart. And then today's schedule according to our class 9th information bar graph and histogram. I hope you understood. Thank you children.